He calls it stability. Ben Habib.
Well, I don't think this petition will result in a general election, even if it got, if it got to 9.7 million people voting in favour of another election. That's the same number of votes that Labour got, so that would be interesting. But I think there's people say to me, Ben, there's no chance of this government giving up its huge majority, no matter what happens between now and 2029. And I don't agree. I think that there are pressures that can come to bear that could force this government back to the electorate. And the most obvious one is a collapse in the economy. And I think some of the measures taken by Rachel Reeves already are not playing out the way she expected them to play out. Sterling, I don't know if people are watching, but sterling is down 7% against the dollar in the last 3 months. That's a very significant move in sterling. And that's not a general strengthening of the dollar. That is sterling weakening on its own. That is basically people saying they don't want to buy British products. They don't want to buy British debt, British investments. And a crucial component of this government being able to finance itself is foreigners buying British bonds. And they don't need to buy British bonds. You know, most people, as investors, have to have some exposure to US treasuries because the dollar is the currency of the world. But the sterling isn't. It's not the reserve currency of the world. So people don't have to buy our bonds. And there's a very, very real possibility that she's got her numbers wrong, that she will need to borrow more money than she says she's going to have to borrow, that growth will go through the floor. We will be in a recession. In fact, all the indicators are that we're heading into a recession. Unemployment will rise. And even if they put up interest rates, they won't be able to get people to buy British government bonds. Then you have the United Kingdom going off to the IMF, cap in hand, saying, please, can we have a bailout? And that would be a disaster for any government. And I think that you can then force a general election on a government if they absolutely collapse the economy.
This is why the general election petition will not work. Whilst the authenticity of some of the signatures remain unverified, the real issue is the misplaced belief that such a petition could compel a general election in the first place. History has shown us otherwise. Take the Brexit petition, which attracted over 6 million signatures but led to no reverse of the referendum whatsoever. Unsurprisingly, Nigel Farage and his allies, including Ben Habib from Reform UK, have seized upon this petition as evidence of public discontent, which it clearly is. Habib, appearing on GB News, suggested that whilst the petition itself won't force an election, economic instability could. He pointed to factors like the weakening of the pound and the potential government borrowing issues as triggers for a potential collapse of the current administration. However, it's crucial to understand how elections work in the UK. A general election can only occur under two circumstances: if the Prime Minister calls one, or if the government loses a vote of no confidence in the House of Parliament. The latter requires a majority of MPs, including Labour MPs, to vote against the government. Even with economic pressures, it's unlikely that Labour MPs would even destabilise their own party, as doing so would pave the way for a Conservative return to power. For those signing petitions in the hope of an immediate change, it's important to manage expectations. Petitions may highlight public sentiment, but they don't override parliamentary processes. The likelihood is that the next general election will take place in 2028 or 29 as planned. But let me know what you think in the comments, more so than you have done in the petition already. And as usual, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. You actually made it to the end of the video. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, which, why haven't you already, is somewhere over there. And also, if you want to watch more videos, also check out over there. I've been Jake from Just Jake. See you later.